Welcome to Buttonmashtheater. My name is Heather, and this is going to be yet another episode of 2064 Read-Only Memories. So last time we were left with the decision to either go to Flower Mansion to meet the lady who owns Flower Corp, who Hayden supposedly worked with, or to go to the COS.io Corp and figure out what's been going on with the mesh net alterations to, like, some media stories. So I decided we're gonna go with COS.io Corp. I got a feeling. Let's see how it goes.
Here we are.
Here we are.
The COS.io Corporation office building.
Yep.
It looks like most of the businesses on this block are a part of the same corporate coalition under COS.io.
Mm-hmm. Is that important?
Well, perhaps. At the very least, it means it's unlikely they're the ones interfering with Augmented Eye's articles.
Oh, okay.
Not impossible, but unlikely.
How so?
Generally, the companies in a coalition don't have a whole lot of overlap.
Uh-huh.
Augmented Eye is a news app focused on local tech and culture stories, with an emphasis on hybrids' rights and cybernetics issues.
Okay.
None of the other companies in the coalition cover news, so they aren't related at all, which is very much standard practice for these groups.
Okay.
They have nothing to gain by inviting companies with whom they compete, and thus none of them would benefit by trying to undermine Augmented Eye's credibility as a news source.
Could you tell me more about these coalitions?
In the early 2020s, the California government was pretty much going bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
A poor national
Okay.
economy and repeated voter initiatives meant the state didn't have the tax revenue to continue running municipal services.
Oh, I see.
They kept pushing the tax burden down the totem pole until poorer cities were just flat broke.
Mm-hmm.
No police, no road work, complete public service collapse.
Yeah.
Then, one of the smaller cities sold all of their public infrastructure, police and fire included, to a private corporation.
Okay.
This was eventually challenged in court, but several Silicon Valley corporations started a grassroots initiative to have citizens pass an amendment to the state constitution allowing it. They succeeded, and most of the major cities in the state sold off their public services to private corporations. Some places,
And how
like
does
Los
this help?
Angeles, just sold to the highest bidder,
Yeah.
which is probably why LA is essentially in a constant gang turf war, with one side wearing the uniforms of the studio-owned police forces.
Uh-huh. Okay, I'm listening.
The cities in the Bay Area were a little more selective, and most of the municipal services are owned by multi-corporation coalitions.
Uh-huh.
They split the bill of running the city between them and keep each other from being too corrupt in their usage of the police force and such, from fear of a PR disaster and being kicked out of the coalition. It means there isn't as much money going around, which is why the NSFPD's equipment is out of date and the meshnet is so successful over normal cable networks. After all, without the promise of a city infrastructure bought and paid for, the corporations all treat running the city like a charity and PR stunt. But at least the police aren't irredeemably corrupt. The fire trucks still show up on time, and the water runs to all parts of the city. That can't be said for some areas of the state.
Yeah. Didn't realize things were that bad elsewhere. Why hasn't the federal government stepped in?
I haven't spent enough time learning about the subject, or politics in general, to give you an educated answer.
Okay.
If I go by the posts people make on the meshnet, I'd say a combination of having bigger fish to fry and caving to corporate pressure.
Yeah.
People seem certain that the larger multinational companies would love to be able to buy their own towns on a national scale, and are pumping money into Congress to try and make that happen.
I see.
They hold up Neo-SF as an example of their success, while trying to bury the problems in LA as an anomaly.
Yeah.
Combine that with unrest abroad, and I guess they don't have a whole lot of motivation to try and stop it. Historical precedent seems to lend credence to this interpretation, if you're willing to believe my hasty readings on the subject.
Okay. Fair enough, thanks for filling me in.
You're welcome. I am happy to assist.
Alright, let's just call this off and go to Flower Mansion then. I mean, we'll trust Turing. Something wrong?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was wool gathering.
Okay.
I see we've arrived at the Melody Flores residence.
Yes, we have.
Quite impressive.
It is. Looks really pretty.
But that's to be expected, considering that she is still the majority owner of the Flower Cybernetics Group, despite retiring from day-to-day operations at the company.
Well, you know, yeah. Still makes a lot of money then.
I wonder how she and Hayden first began working together.
Oh no.
Sorry. Back on task.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Is there anything you'd like to know before we head inside?
Yeah, let's see. Give me a rundown of Flower Cybernetics.
Flower Cybernetics was established in the early 2000s by Melody's mother, Antonella.
Okay.
It started out developing cutting-edge medical tech, including advanced prosthesis and nanoparticle diagnostic and treatment technologies.
Well, that sounds fancy.
They were vastly successful when they perfected the first synthetic nerve mesh, allowing direct connection and control between the nervous system and a cybernetic prosthesis.
Oh, wow, they invented the process of cybernetic planting.
The majority of their early projects were defense technologies for the American military.
Okay.
Developing ruggedized military prosthesis for use on injured soldiers, and then eventually electively for special forces. This research line culminated in the development of brain-controlled androids as shock troops, long since barred by international law.
Oh wow, so they had brain-controlled androids as shock troops. I think they banned those.
Melody took over the company from her aging mother, and she fought against developing further military hardware from that point on. She pushed the company to use the BCA technology for the company's original goals of medical advancement, as well as developing the first direct link virtual reality implants.
Oh, awesome.
The company is largely successful on a global scale, despite continued legislative movement against extensive cybernetic use, especially brain implants.
Ah, come on, let people get brain implants. What's wrong with that? I mean, what else can you tell me about Melody, then?
Not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot, huh? Yeah, I mean, she sounds like a good person.
She's largely private, in contrast to her mother's
Actually,
penchant
she
for courting a
stopped-
media circus.
Stopped the weapons stuff after she was in charge.
Several biographies of former Flower executives show her as intensely passionate about demilitarizing the company to
That's
the point
good.
of absolute
Good.
viciousness in the boardroom.
Good, good.
But it's been a long time since her days of fighting for the company, and she's since stepped away from the helm.
I mean, yeah, you know, you gotta step away
There's
sometime.
talk that she's lost her spine in her old age, but,
No. I doubt that's true.
well, I'd take that with a grain of salt.
Definitely, definitely.
She may have retreated from the corporate battlefield, but you don't change the entire direction of a company as large as Flower if you're a quitter.
Exactly.
Stay on your toes.
Alright. Didn't Yannick say he and Melody had a falling out? Yeah, did they?
He did, and I can't shine much light on that.
Okay.
I know that System 1 worked with Flower to help develop the first operating systems for the Direct Link virtual reality implants. So perhaps it happened during that time.
That would make sense.
Also, Flower eventually went with a different company for future models of the implant, but there was never any public talk of a personal falling out between the heads of the companies.
Okay.
I'll scrape the mesh for more rumors, but they'll only be that, rumors.
Yeah, that's alright then.
I can do my best to parse fact from fiction, but it blurs too much for me to be sure what's real.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Let's go ahead and head in.
No time like the present, then.
Absolutely. Go ahead and ring that doorbell. Hello. You are a bear. Hi, bear. Hi, is Melody home? Right.
Your guess is as good as mine.
She's got a bear butler.
Mine says we can go in?
Yeah. I'd say so.
Should we?
Yeah. Let's go in. Inside we go.
Oh, wow. Swanky.
Oh, hey, Melody. Swanky.
What? I have been trying to increase my usage of colloquialisms.
Oh, I bet.
Is Swanky too out of date?
Probably 2064.
It's certainly before my time.
Yeah.
Oh, Ms. Flores! Excuse us for the intrusion. My name is Turing, and...
Oh, I know who you are.
I can explain. I know you don't like Dr. Fairlight very much, but I assure you there's a situation.
Fairlight? I didn't realize Hayden's research had become a charity case.
Like, almost got the same haircut. Her.
Though I suppose little boy Yannick will throw money at anything
Except
that
it's
raises
shorter.
his profile on the mesh.
Wait, you know Hayden? Also, we actually only just met Dr. Fairlight yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad. Now Pat won't have to eat you.
Oh, the bear's name is apparently Pat. Hello, Pat.
What?
Though I'm not sure your gears would have been good for his digestion.
Probably not.
Actually, madam, I'm not comprised of gears.
Well, either way, he's on a diet. This philosophy is how I lead my life. Sometimes you eat the bear, and sometimes the bear, well, he eats you. Do you understand?
Yeah, I got it.
Not really.
Look, I don't have all day to entertain you, Turing, nor your new friend. Not even for Hayden. You don't have time to waste if you're going to find him, either.
Oh, what? Find him?
Right.
But, does she know something that we don't? Or was that just a...
If you were one of Fairlight's worker bees, you wouldn't have made it through the door.
I
So
know.
why are you here to badger me about poor Hayden?
I don't have another lead?
You have me at a disadvantage, Ms. Flores. You seem far ahead of us on this matter.
Yeah, I mean, she really does.
Just call me Melody, darling. And of course. But I'll share a secret or two with you.
Okay, please do.
I have so many questions. Do you know what's happened to Hayden?
I wish I didn't. Maybe you don't want to either.
Well,
Please, Melody, any information you might have.
Yeah.
We haven't had access to any of his research notes, and couldn't track down any collaborators he may have been working with.
Right.
Perhaps if we know more, we might be able to nail down a solid motive.
That would be great.
Well, I don't know if I can speculate on that, beyond the usual corporate infighting.
Okay.
Not that Parallax is known for that, of course.
Oh, of course.
We had been catching up recently, and he mentioned feelings of being watched.
Oh.
He started to worry he had been discussing your development with the wrong people.
Yes, exactly. That's what it's
When
about.
he stopped returning my calls,
Totally
and
about
now that
Turing, 'cause
you've
he's, like,
shown up with a
self-aware and
total
everything.
stranger, it becomes clear what happened.
I see.
Yeah.
Can you tell us anything else about his disappearance?
Oh, I'm afraid not, dear. I've been around long enough to know what's coincidence and what isn't.
Okay.
We were hoping you might be able to shine some light on my origins.
That'd be
Fairlight
interesting.
mentioned that you had worked with Hayden in the past.
Yeah.
I see Hayden didn't neglect curiosity in your personality makeup.
I mean, of course not.
Well, you and I haven't properly met, but considering how often Hayden badgered me for design schematics of Flower's latest neural implants, I might as well be your aunt? We'll go with that.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind being an aunt, even to a blue-headed robot.
I'm touched, Melody.
Aw.
Well then, I'm willing to answer your questions, for now.
Great. How did you help Hayden with Turing?
Indeed.
Yeah.
I don't see the connection between your company and Hayden's research into machine sapience.
Yeah, I don't really get that connection either. You said he was looking at neural mesh connections or something.
Oh, Hayden wasn't researching machine sapiens. At least not primarily. Not to diminish the importance of your creation, Turing, but it's best you know the truth.
Okay then. Alright, what's the real thing then? What is it?
Hayden is mainly interested in developing a way to transfer human consciousness into a machine matrix.
Oh, okay, so it's the... human... like... forgot what it's called.
You can
Human
see why neural
Instrumentality
implants
Project,
would
that's it.
obviously be an integral part of that.
But, it's called... some kind of... transhumanism, that's it. That's what it's called. When humans become something other than a human. What do you do then?
Oh, I didn't realize.
I could see why the human purists would want to stop that immediately. Uh-oh. People dumping their brains into computers can't have that. How would Turing's development help with digitizing the human mind? Yeah, what's the connection there?
The concept of transferring the human mind into a computer has been an attractive goal for decades.
Okay.
Functional immortality is...
Oh, I see. So,
powerful lure.
was Turing supposed to be the body that could eventually, like, the prototype for a body that could eventually hold a human mind? That's probably it.
The brain is an immensely complicated machine,
Had to
And
make...
even though we know the right buttons to push to
Yeah.
make pictures show up,
Right?
we still can't replicate the entire thing as a technological construct.
Exactly, so he was trying to replicate a human brain. And he created Turing. So in the quest to be able to transfer human consciousness into computers, he created a self-aware AI. Because that was just step one. I mean, you gotta test the thing out. You don't have a human brain to test it on first. You gotta make a brain. What can you do?
Even with the virtual reality
Jesus, guy.
implants, we're
No
really
wonder
just
he
relying
knew
on the
all of
brains
these people.
to make sense of nonsensical signals.
Yeah, his finger in a lot of pies. Real hot pies.
So Hayden decided the best way to make a machine more like the human brain would be
Surprised
to
he didn't
work
get
in
burned
the
sooner.
opposite direction. Instead of mimicking how the human brain worked, he started writing code that mimicked the functioning of the human mind.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it like convergent evolution. Two
Yep.
species adapt in similar ways, but on completely different continents. Hayden is a crack programmer when it comes to information collating. It's why Parallax hired him when they did.
Okay.
So he wrote a bunch of self-modifying learning algorithms that were, frankly, baffling and let them loose. Poke and prod them here and there to make sure they value the same things humans do.
Gotcha.
And we eventually end up with you, Turing.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hayden never revealed any of this to me.
I mean, of course he didn't.
I imagine he's pretty tight-lipped.
Yeah. That he should be tight-lipped about stuff like that.
You were the first prototype he considered a real success, and he was afraid of contaminating your development before he had a chance to make good observations.
Okay. Let's see. Can you elaborate on your involvement?
Phew, if you can even call it involvement.
Mm-hmm.
It's a small city. And if you're in the tech sector, you are never more than 2 degrees removed from anyone else.
Gotcha.
When he started looking into this pet project of his, he came right up to my door and demanded access to the research logs behind our earlier implants.
Okay. Okay.
Cheeky, but it was impactful and disruptive, as they like to say around here. I couldn't care less about Flowers' patents anymore, so I gave him what he wanted, just to see what he would do.
He just wanted to see what would happen. That's great. I really like this lady.
I'm frankly more impressed than I expected I would be, but don't tell him that.
Okay, so you keep saying that, like, is he alive?
Don't worry.
Do you know something that we don't, or do you just not know that?
I won't.
Oh, that was a compliment, dear.
Yeah. Okay. Hayden wasn't invested in... No, he totally was. I'm not gonna ask that question. I'd like to ask something else.
Sure, sure.
That seems really rude to Turing. What's the story between you and Fairlight?
Oh, hell, that old bastard and I have been flashing daggers at each other for the better part of 20 years.
Dang.
I contracted out the software development for our first-gen direct-link VR neural implants to System 1.
Uh-huh.
Things were going great, but after the first models sold like gangbusters, Yannick tried to get into bed with me. Literally.
Oh.
I turned him down. Very politely, I might add. And then, suddenly, all of the cooperation between our companies dried up.
Oh, well, that's kind of messed up.
We've been at it back and forth ever since. I'd be damned careful about trusting him if I were you.
Okay.
He's a snake, and he'll do anything he can to get what he wants.
Good to know.
Still,
Thanks for the, differing perspective.
If you tried again now, I might not turn him down.
Well, he's kind of stuck in a chair, so... if you can make it work, I'd say go for it.
It would be fun to needle him about me still having my own company when he doesn't have his.
Oh, I bet that would be fun, though. Okay, I think that's everything we need to know.
Good. I can get back to my retirement.
Great. You sure can.
Thank you for your time, Melody. We'll be in touch later.
Definitely.
Oh, one more piece of information for you, if you'd like it.
Okay. Absolutely.
I've got the contact info for a Vincent Mensa, who I
Vincent
think might be of
Mensa's
help to
contact
you.
info. Really? Why is
Vincent
that?
was working more closely with Hayden inside Parallax. Mostly on his company-approved research on data collating algorithms for the mesh.
Oh, okay.
I'll send him a message and ask him to meet you somewhere.
Cool.
He owes me a favor anyway, and might be able to give you some more information on anything else Hayden may have been working on.
That'd be great.
That would be fantastic, Melody.
Thank you.
Perhaps Golden Gate Park?
Yeah.
Be careful, Turing. I don't like Fairlight's stench all over this scenario. Don't show him too many of your cards.
Got it.
Cards? This euphemism is unfamiliar to me.
Don't tell him anything if you can.
Yes.
Fairlight is more dangerous the more he's
We will not
informed.
disclose any information that we do not need to.
Thank you, Aunt Melody.
Understood.
Wish us luck.
Alright, so we'll go ahead and get out of here, and we'll head to Golden Gate Park on the next episode. So thanks